Welcome into episode 2 of the Crossovr podcast. We have an awesome episode in store for you. We have Antoine McClain on the show. He's a former NFL guard and currently works in player engagement for the University of Tennessee. We want to start off with a quick statement on the current state of the country. So with everything that's going on, we want to express our deepest condolences to George Floyd's friends, family, and loved ones, and anyone else who was affected by his senseless murder, which is, frankly, everyone. We know that as 3 white men, your hosts, we can never fully comprehend what it's like to be a Black person in America, but we have all taken these past several days as an opportunity to reflect on our privilege and educate ourselves on how to improve as human beings. We urge you to do the same and to consider donating to one of the many causes looking to fight these types of injustices, such as the Minnesota Freedom Fund, Communities United Against Police Brutality, Black Lives Matter, or numerous others if you're able. To minorities everywhere, please know that we are with you, and we sincerely hope that our nation learns and grows from this horrific event. Thank you. Antoine, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you guys for having me, man.
How are you doing?
I'm good. Actually, relaxing this beautiful Monday.
Yes, sir. Where are you based out of?
Well, I'm based out of Clarksville, Tennessee, by way of Knoxville.
Nice. So obviously there's a lot going on in the news and current events. Do you have any thoughts that you want to add to what we just said or that you want to share?
Yeah. I mean, it's a shame, man, that we continue to history keeps repeating itself with, the police brutality and the social injustice. So I think it's like no one would ever know what it's like to be a Black man but a Black man and being a Black man in America. So I just think everybody should be cautious of that. And as well, too, is just make it an equal playing field, and as well as the law should be not just affect the pedestrians, but it should affect everybody. So nobody should get, the golden rule. Anybody should get passed on because of their job title, their badge. So, it's just everybody wants justice, and everybody just wants everybody to do a peaceful protest. But watching this show, everybody's angry, and it's not just Black against white. It's everybody against racism and everybody against what's wrong. So that's my take on it.
Absolutely, well said. So hopefully, switching topic a little bit. As you know, this is the Crossovr, and we're definitely going to get into your other ventures in life. But quickly, do you want to just kind of talk about your career, how you got to where you are today?
Right. Well, so my current position now is I'm in student athlete development at the University of Tennessee. But backtracking, was a high school All-American, had a chance to go play football for 4 years at Clemson University, had a chance to, win that ACC championship in the first in 20 years, help build that trainer that's moving right now, and had a chance to spend 5 years in the National Football League, which my rookie year I won Super Bowl, and then I ended up finishing my NFL career with the Cardinals, and then I finished my last year of ball of just football in general in Canada, in Calgary. So upon finishing football, I got into total academics, and I focusing on player development and helping guys understand what their resources are after playing, and helping them transition from football into a life, as they say. So I'm actually now I take a position at the University of Tennessee. So here I am.
Congrats. So what is it like to constantly be on the move and switch between cities? Is that something that you always looked forward to? Did you enjoy that aspect? Is that something you sought out?
Well, I know as a kid, my dad did a good job of taking us places as a kid. So I traveled a lot. Every other Christmas, or every holiday, we was traveling somewhere. So yeah. I've always was fun to travel. I'll be the only one in the car up. It'd be just me and my dad, and my brother would be asleep, my sister would be asleep, my auntie would be asleep. So it'd just be, me up, just watching, looking out the windows. And even so, playing in high school, on those road trips, away games, I get a chance to stare out the window and just think about my career and where it's headed. So I've always, been on the move. I always tell people from the age 16 until like last year, even right now, my life has been one big roller coaster. It's been fun. I traveled all over the country, had a chance to play ball with some of the greats. I had a chance to travel across the world too as well. So it's good to see different customs and different ways. I remember even going to Mexico and helping those guys, do football drills and just learning how passionate those guys was about learning, even the women as well. So, and then learning about the different football leagues for women. So it's just football has taken me a long way. So I don't mind to travel, but I'm Sagittarius too. So I love to travel and I love to see a different bubble other than mine.
Absolutely. Do you have a favorite place?
Like vacation or just like in general?
Let's do both.
Well, my favorite vacation place has to be Jamaica. I love Jamaica. It's beautiful. I would say my favorite place that I've lived in is definitely Phoenix, Arizona, and my favorite place to travel to. I have two. It's Tampa, Florida, where a great deal of my family is, and Houston. I love Houston.
I've heard nothing but good things about Houston.
Yeah, it's nice.
What's going on, Antoine? Stevie, nice to meet you. Thanks for being here.
Yes, sir.
I'm just curious, how young were you when you knew you wanted to be a professional athlete? Like, did you know as soon as as young as you could remember, as soon as you started playing football, or in high school when maybe your body matured a little, or just when was that click when you realized you were going to be a professional athlete?
I remember like when I was like 3 or 4. My mom or my uncle turned to something on TV. Well, I saw these men running in like jumping up and down, running fast, and different logos and with pads on. And I kind of knew, okay, that's something that I want to do. I even remember the game that I was watching. It was the Indianapolis Colts and the New Orleans Saints. This is me at 4 years old, but I've always been a big guy. I've always been the biggest one in my class. I've always been a standout body or whatnot. So from a kid, I've always been told I'm gonna play ball, I'm gonna do something, this and that. A lot of kids get that from them to their head as a kid, at a young age. But I kind of always knew I was gonna do something. Yeah, so I kind of like tailored my life, but I didn't really get serious about football until the light bulb went off like 7th grade, and then I remember high school I was starting varsity, so I kind of all right, well, I know I could. To me, like, I have nothing against people working like regular 9 to 5, but I just knew I wasn't going to be the guy sitting behind the counter cooking wings and fries all my life like I was when I was 16. But no knock on people who do that at all. Everybody plays their part in this world. So with that being said, I just knew I wasn't an ordinary body because I'm always bigger than everybody. So I kind of knew at an early age. And then when I started taking it seriously and started like training more specifically, I kind of knew that I had a chance to play ball on a higher level.
Cool.
Did you try out different sports?
Yeah, I played basketball. I played baseball. I played softball. I played what else did I do? I did a little bit of track, but mainly once I got like in high school, I was big on lifting weights. So like after 9th grade, I kind of shut everything down. I really focused in on football.
Were there any celebrities? It doesn't even have to be an athlete that like inspired you to get into sports, or like somebody who said, "Oh, I want to play in front of this guy," or "I want to play with this guy," or "I want to be like this guy"?
Well, I remember when I first got like DirecTV or cable, and that's when NFL Network was on. So I used to watch that. I used to come home from school, either it was a cooking channel or it was NFL Network. Learning. So I had a chance to learn from just see what all those former guys tell their stories, see all the top 10 shows, all the football life shows. So I just and you didn't watching guys like Warren Sapp. So I kind of wanted to always, step in their footsteps and be a part of that. So I grew up watching the Alabamas and the Auburns and watching the Miami Hurricanes. Because when I was growing up, when I came to football as far as the IQ part of it, Miami was always on the top dog. So I always wanted to be a Miami Hurricane. I always wanted to play for an Auburn or Florida so just seeing that. And then I grew up in the 90s. So me and my uncle used to watch the Cowboys every single. So seeing guys like Larry Allen and Neon Dion and Michael Irvin and all those guys and Harper and all, so just seeing all of that, I kind of wanted to they gave me the idea that I wanted to play, but not just saying one person that I wanted to see, but just overall having favorite players. I always wanted to at least meet them, like a Peyton Manning or Marvin Harrison. So guys like
Right.
that. Then having the chance to actually meet these guys like Ray Lewis or Jerome Bettis, that. So stuff like that.
That's one thing I envy. Like you mentioned, like Michael Irvin, Deion Sanders. Like I wish, like obviously we grew up on watching them on NFL Network as analysts, but I just wish we could have seen them play. Because obviously there's nobody like them. Mm-hmm. Even though you say there's the Michael Thomases and the Odell Beckhams, nobody's like Michael Irvin. And then nobody's like Deion Sanders. Nobody.
Or Jerry Rice, man. Jerry Rice.
Jerry Rice.
Meeting Fred Taylor and man, I met so many guys that I like watch. Like, wow. I mean, some of those guys been at the end of their career, but just even playing with a guy like Dennis Dixon, I watched him at Oregon when Oregon just first got uniforms, and watching him, and then a couple years later, this guy actually my roommate, and we're on the same team. So just stuff like that, man. It just made that journey like real special.
Cool.
Anthony here. Pleasure to talk to you. Pleasure to meet you. So just backtracking a little bit. When you were coming out of college, going undrafted, right? Mm-hmm. And for like you probably had like a couple weeks to decide or a couple days to decide. Were you like when teams were calling you and stuff? Did you have a team in mind where you wanted to go and who you wanted to sign with?
Well, it's kind of strange because I had like a 3rd or 4th round grade, and then had like a 5th round grade, and then I got called in the 5th and 6th round, and we're gonna take you right here. Then it's just my phone never rung, or guys calling you, telling me stay by your phone. We might take you right here, or so. I remember 7th round, the Ravens call was like, "Hey, we're done picking our guys. It was gonna be between X, Y, and Z and you. We ended up taking him, which was fine. So they was like, but we want to extend you an opportunity to come, be a Raven as a high priority free agent. This is the 7th round. This is for draft was over with. So I accepted it because I knew I watched that team for 4 years, knock on the door every year, and then it's kind of like I kind of figured it's gonna be between them or New Orleans. So I figured, okay, New Orleans didn't draft me; they drafted another guy. So when the Ravens called, I was already kind of more of like a 16th. I felt, but I always knew that either it was going to be because I fit their system so well. Either one of those AFC teams.
Yeah, and you picked a good year to sign with them too.
Yeah, I knew because every year they got closer and closer. I mean, I knew, and even my agent had good ties with that team because he had a few players on that team as well. So with a Joe Flacco and a Gino. I forget Gino Gronkowski and guys like that was on their way there, and guys who were already there, so I already knew what type of pedigree that they were looking for in an offensive lineman.
Yeah, we played with some greats then.
Yes, sir.
That team was pretty special. That playoff run was absolutely remarkable.
How was it like playing in the blackout? That was the blackout year, right? During the Super Bowl?
Yeah, man, that was crazy. Wow, that whole day was just like I was in the race. Even though I didn't play it, most of the rookies didn't play that game, but just to actually live up to that moment and actually be there and help that team contribute to that or whatnot, and being up on the field, I was actually wanting to like stay for the halftime. Like, well, I'm not playing, so can I stay for the halftime show? Coach was like,
who performed? Do you remember?
Say it again.
Who performed? Do you remember?
Beyonce performed. So,
oh
wow,
she ended up performing, and then we was whipping their ass, man. And then I remember the lights went out, and then it took a while to get back. But I mean, that was one of the most remarkable Super Bowls you would ever encounter because of that happening, and then the actual comeback and stopping those guys from winning. So, and then it's Ray Lewis last year. It's a lot of guys last year on that team, so it was a very, very inspirational moment.
That was also Harbaugh versus Harbaugh, right?
Harbaugh versus Harbaugh.
Yeah.
It was a great week, man.
What was that speech like before the game when he's talking about his brother, beating his brother?
Oh, we was hearing that all week. We heard that all season because their dad talk about Muhammad Ali. We had Muhammad Ali. We had Muhammad Ali show up during the playoffs to come and talk to us. Well, just to come and show his presence because his dad, their dad knew him. He always talks about him. So we've been hearing about that all year. And I mean, even the guys who was there before I got there heard about this story a long time. So it's just good to see those stories play out on ESPN all week. And then, but just actually having guys that I know that play for other hardball at Stanford. So it was a good time. And it's very funny too because them tell their side of the story.
Wow. Are you a boxing fan?
Yeah, I am. I mean, recently I catch a few guys, but I I I grew up on Mike Tyson and those guys.
Yeah. So you kind of talked about the NFL Network. Like, were there other sports that you enjoyed watching growing up? Right now, is football your favorite sport to watch?
I mean, I actually like college football, but I
Okay.
actually watch.
Agreed.
I love the Olympics. I love watching track. I love watching sports. Like, to me, baseball, if I'm not playing, is kind of boring. But I love watching the motocross sports because that was very exciting. I love watching just all different weird sports on those crazy ESPN channels. So I mean, just learning about those different sports. Even too, I love watching pin relays because track is very big where I'm from. So I just try my best to try to understand other sports too. Even watching some of those rugby matches. I don't know what's going on, but I like watching them.
I feel the same way about rugby. It's just like pure violence. It's exactly what I want to see.
It's violence, it's speed, it's strategy, it's fun, it's excitement. So I love it.
Absolutely. So let's shift gears a little bit. So want to get your thoughts on music. Like what is your relationship with music right now? Do you play any instruments?
No, I don't. But music is my life, man. I come from not say a musical background, but I grew up in a house where everything involved music, especially on Saturdays, cleaning the house. And then, like, I was always the type of kid that, like, I just go into my mom, like, her big deck of tapes, listen to all her old school tapes, and I'm a hip hop head to the fullest. I love, the '90s R&B. I love different artists now, as far as not just hip hop and rap, but like contemporary, alternative, just different genres. I love, if it sounds good, I love it. So, but as far as instruments, I tried playing the drums at church. So I love the drums. It was a great tempo of the church crowd, of the church music. So I always find myself now listening to instrumentals or a lot of beats. So I love the beats and instrumental part of it. But as far as, I played bass drum in middle school in our band class. I tried to play the clarinet a little bit. I tried to play the xylophone, but I was pretty good. I was pretty good with my 2 and 4 on the bass drum.
Nice, good stuff. So you said you're a hip hop head?
Yes, sir.
So last week on our pilot episode, I don't know if you listened yet, but we had a quick debate on top 5 rappers of all time. Do you want to give us your top 5?
See, that's hard because it's gonna always change for me. But
it is tough. It's tough.
Because because I grew up. I grew up in the era where my dad's era, as far as the beginning of hip hop, and then my era in the '90s, and then the 2000s. But if I would have to pick five of the top rappers, Nas would definitely be in that top 5.
Let's go.
No order. Scarface
would be in my top 5. If people argue just about them being a group or not, but definitely Andre 3000 would be in my top 5.
There we go.
I gotta throw my guy Saha the Prince, man. He's very lyrical.
Wow, he is.
A wild card, I would think, man, because there's so many, man. There's so many like top 5.
So many. Many.
Because you could talk about lyricism, you could talk about all that, but and then I would say that number 5, just not in any order, but that number 5, I would have to go with a DMX.
All right, that's a respectable top 5. I had a lot of trouble with it as well. I had to leave Nas off my top 5, which was difficult to do, obviously.
Yeah. But Next could be one of your favorite rappers, Doc. I mean, because I feel like man, somebody asked me tomorrow what's my top 5. You're going to hear 8-Ball from 8-Ball MJG. You're going to hear a Mystical. You're going to hear you're going to hear a lot, man. Like, so, but I hate when everybody try to use the same, like, oh, Jay-Z, Biggie, Nas, Tupac. Ooh, but like, you got to stay there, man. Some of these guys now got some lyrics for your ass, bro. Like, it's a lot of whack stuff out, but it's a lot of dope stuff. But at the same time,
for sure,
it's so much music out that you can figure out what you like and what you don't like.
Yeah.
Grand Poobah. People slip on Grand Poobah.
I don't know Grand Poobah.
Oh, man. Grand Poobah. Brand Nubian. The like an 80s group, like around the like Fat Joe and I'm very hip hop, bro.
Yeah. That's great. No, your top 5 was like an interesting mix of old and new because you had DMX, Scarface, but then like I've never heard Sci High the Prince on a top 5. I don't think.
Who you think writes all of Kanye? All right, I'm gonna give you guys like we can stay friends after this too. I just because we were talking about music, and I like getting you guys to take as far as give me some artists too. But when you get a chance, this tonight or tomorrow, listen to this album, No Dope on Sundays, the Side of Prince's album. No dope on Sundays.
No dope.
That's church days.
Exactly. But it's a great concept, man. And then even too, people talk about top 10 albums. Like, man, we can go on and on, bro.
Well,
top 10 albums is so hard.
The number 1 album is Illmatic. There's just no choice there. No, Illmatic's the number 1 album. There's just no choice.
I don't know if I agree.
Graduation for me.
I can see that.
Graduation for you, Stevie? See,
Graduation, Kanye.
If it's Kanye, it's got to be My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's a debate.
If you talk about that's I just listened to the actual Dakota episode on Spotify. Talk about that. Yes, I would say that's probably Kanye's best album, but my favorite Kanye album is Late Registration.
Late Registration's great.
Because I'm a time period guy. I go through like, all right, what was I going through in that time period?
Yeah.
So that's how I kind of view books and music. Like, all right, I had a mix CD for every workout I had going to high school. I had, for every recruitment that I had a mixtape just to listen to in my little MP3 player or like a CD deck. So it's like, but that Kanye West Late Registration is one of my favorite albums. Another one of my favorite albums is Talib Kweli and DJ High Tech Train of Thought album, the Reflection Eternal. So Black on Both Sides, stuff. So man, it's hard, bro. It's hard.
It is. Talib Kweli was on all of Kanye's earlier songs on Late Registration and College Dropout.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong. Kanye's first 5 albums. I mean, you really can't go wrong. Like up until My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. I mean, they're all 10s in my book.
Yeah.
Like even College Dropout, Late Registration, Graduation, 808. 808 was a little iffy.
Yeah.
I like 808s.
Late Registration and I'm sorry, College Dropout, bro, is probably like a breath of fresh air for like every kid who loves like genuine music.
Yeah.
Big facts.
Yeah.
So keeping on music right now. So when I played football, my pregame music was weird. Like I had like Marvin Gaye. I had it was weird. It was such a random source. It was like Marvin Gaye, Kanye, like classic rock and roll or whatever. So if you're like, do you base your pregame music per game who you're facing, or is it just one playlist? You're gonna run that through every single game. You're not gonna change anything up, or is it like a certain genre? Like what do you like to what did you like to listen to for games?
I'm all over the place because let's take high school for example. So I was in high school from 2004 2008. So 9th grade, it was the first Carter, the Young Jock album. It was all that. That's riding to the field house. Then
Nice.
when I'm in my own zone, it's like 8 Ball, MJG, UGK. I was a huge fan of that Rihanna song. I don't want to do this anymore. That was my shit, bro. And then it was just a weird, like, you might have some Bone Thugs and Harmony, you might have some Devin the Dude. It's very southern, but then I had Queen. I have a List of Demands. That song I had I had a weird playlist too.
Wow.
I still do, but
it's so random.
Then it was the Jeezy album, the first Jeezy album. That was soundtrack of the year, and then it was Usher's album, Confessions, all that stuff, man. So
oh my god, man, that's like one of my earliest like hip hop memories, Confessions.
And then you have T-Pain. T-Pain was popping. I grew up on the Little John Snap era, so all that, man. The Atlanta. Then I was right by Atlanta too, like an hour away from Atlanta where I grew up. So
yeah.
So I like to answer your question. I have a very like wide variety in my playlist. I'm the same way.
I think that goes for everybody, honestly. Like I didn't play football, I played baseball, but everybody's got their guilty pleasure. Like no song hypes me up like Since You've Been Gone, Kelly Clarkson.
Right.
That shit.
Oh.
I mean, you bump that, it's over. You're ready for the rest of the day. You're ready for the week. You ready to go?
That's Umbrella by Rihanna for me.
I also grew up on the 50 Cent mixtape era, like when. So I had my brother was in college too, so he was sending me stuff from his laptop, and then I had the CD man outside. You had,
the CD man.
You had LimeWire and all that.
I think 50's Patiently Waiting album. I remember it was like the first like rap album I listened to, and I was just like, I am 50 Cent. Like, let's go. Like, this is who I'm listening to now. Like, I can't wait to be a rebel against my parents and like show them the new music that I'm listening to.
Yeah, he bold. My parents, they got kind of lenient though with that. But that's why I could only grew up. Speaking of that, my dad was like that too with music. We listened to like everything, like from No Limit to Cash Money to Rap a lot and all that. But my dad will never listen to stuff on our own unless it was Outkast or Goody Mob or the Dungeon Family, because they were speaking more about just the flashy cars and getting girls. They were speaking about stuff that's going on right now in the world. They were talking about just self-elevation and knowing yourself as a black man and knowing yourself as a person and what you stand for. So all that stuff, all the country's rap. So like that was stuff that we could buy on our own. But like as far as like DMX was cool too, the song. So it was kind of in the same boat.
Yep.
Do you think we're missing that like substance in today's music?
No, I don't, because I feel like it's so much like you can take a Trippie Redd for that crowd. Everybody has their own crowd, like a Trippie Redd, or you have a Travis Scott, which I love, or you have a Freddie Gibbs, who's still a mixture of and consciousness too. You have Griselda, who's straight bars except for West Side Gun, but he's dope too. But so everybody has their
niche.
So it's something for everybody nowadays.
Right.
Absolutely. I think that's the beauty of streaming. It makes it so much easier to listen to music at the snap of your finger.
And so much easier to share it too. So it's like a lot of people that you might have never heard of in your life, but you look on his page, you got 12 million followers. Like, who is this dude?
For sure. Do you follow anyone to like get your stream of music in?
Well, a lot of my friends, we send each other music and stuff, and like we always keep each other tapped into what's out there. And then I follow artists that I'm a fan of. Like one of my favorite artists is Currency and Les and Freddie Gibbs. So I kind of follow their little trees that they have, and I follow like Travis Scott with Don Toliver. Like I like all my favorite guys is artists and whatnot. So. And that's how I get on with that. And I also, too, just Instagram. And then, but I've always been very, very strategic with music. And then, too, I learned about how Apple makes a playlist for you for every drummer. They make you a wake-up playlist. They make you a chill playlist. They make you a new music playlist. So, stuff like that, you find new music.
For sure. So let's switch gears again a little bit. Antoine, I've heard that you are big on meditation. Is that true?
I am.
How often do you meditate?
I meditate at least once a day, sometimes twice a day. But when stuff gets hectic, like back in office settings, do it like 2 or 3 times a day.
For how long? Like 5 minutes or?
5 minutes. 5 minutes. The most I probably do is 12, but that's on weekends. But it's quick 5 minutes because you don't really need that much. I listen to guided meditation, so it's like so many on positivity, change of mind, change of heart, letting go. It's a lot of stuff that what I'm feeling that morning, I'll type it in and then I find me one that I like and then I'll do it.
Do you have an app at all, or you just use YouTube?
No, those apps just try to charge for ridiculous amounts, but I just use YouTube.
Yeah.
Or Apple Music has a bunch of them too.
$10.99 a month to get stuff for free on YouTube.
Or even if you're gonna pay the subscription, why not just get Apple Music and then you can use those? Yeah. They have people on YouTube have their albums on Apple Music. So I beat the system.
Sure.
Or I can or I can set my timer for 5 minutes and then just relax.
Yeah.
Right. I feel like there's sometimes this stigma meditation, you have to sit with your legs crossed and your fingers in the circles. So I'm curious, what's your routine? How do you start?
Well, for one, meditation can just be staring at something. That's meditate, or just being present in the moment. So how I do it is I either go out back on the patio with my speaker and do that, but I close my eyes and I just listen and I listen to what they're saying and I just relax. I take deep breaths, or I lay down sometimes. When I first started, I was laying down doing it, and then, but I'm kind of like I got a lot better at it. So it's like I might sit against the wall with my legs crossed and then just take my breaths, listen to what they're saying. There's no right or wrong way to do it as long as you're like focused and you're like present.
Right.
But your mind is going to, and they say it too. If your mind starts to wander, focus on your breath.
Stevie, have you guys ever meditated, or do you meditate?
My high school coach used to just always tell me to meditate, but I was just like, what do I need to meditate for? But I think I do. I haven't tried it yet, but I want to try it. I just have like awfully bad patience where like
bro, just type in, go to YouTube tonight, all three y'all, if y'all want to.
All
just type in 5-minute guided meditation, and you'll just do one, put your headphones on, and just sit your ass down.
Yeah.
All right. So I'll follow up too. I'll let you know how it goes.
So I meditate every day for 15 minutes. I use Headspace actually, Antoine. Have you tried Headspace or no?
Yeah, I tried Headspace. I tried Calm. I tried the Morning Miracle app. I think I tried all of them, but you know, $800, bro, when I could just get stuff like from YouTube or Apple.
Totally. Yeah, I totally feel that. The how long have you been meditating for?
Since 2006, when I got cut from the Cardinals, man, I deal with a lot of bad anxiety, and I just everything just felt like I don't know. So instead of like, I told myself, man, I'm just gonna stop begging God, man, and just put it out there, and then whatever I want is gonna come to me. But in the meantime, I could pray all I want. I just got to keep moving, but I gotta find something every day because praying for me wasn't enough. It was like I know what I'm praying for. I know it's gonna come. So in the meantime, I gotta focus my mind on something else. I gotta focus. So then I started doing that. My eating habits changed. My thought process changed. I've always been a laid back guy and whatnot, but I just think, and then in that time, then I started to really like get in tune with it, even to meditating outside and then feeling the sun on my face, and then when I'm breathing, I feel the sun pulsating and just channeling your energy. You'll see what I mean once you guys get into it. So about 4 years.
I think it's Stevie, like it's interesting that you brought up that stigma aspect to it, because I guess I was kind of afraid to start meditating as well. I've been meditating for close to a year now consistently, and it's not scary in the way that you think it is, and like it's not
scary.
Because people, I mean, like Stevie just said, you kind of have this thought in your head that like it's just you're doing nothing for 15 minutes and you're sitting cross-legged and this very spiritual experience. No, there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's different. It's different than what you're used to.
Yeah, it's hard for some, but man, I had nothing to lose, bro. I felt like I was in my rope. I felt like, I don't know, man. That's probably the lowest I felt in my life. Like, man, Jesus Christ, is like, because you dealing with identity crisis. I remember just like thinking to myself, what the hell happened? I go from doing my thing to sitting at home, and then like you spending money training, you still gotta pay bills. You like, Jesus Christ. And I was a practice squad, like after got up and down. So I made some good money, but like I didn't make security money. So
right.
Yeah. And then you started paying stuff out, you never coming back. You're like, oh my God. So I had to find something, man. Then my lady was at the time was driving me crazy because she was like freaking out. So I was like, I can't be the one who is freaking out too. Somebody got to have a cool head. So I started meditating, man. I mean, what can I do? I got to sit back and let God work, man.
No doubt.
And focusing on just my energy level. And then I just started seeing life from a different lens.
Absolutely. Good for you for being able to find an outlet and being able to switch it, to turn your life around. I think that's amazing.
Right. I even too, man. I'm not scared. I know we talking about meditation. I'm very passionate about it, so I know I'm talking a lot. But my thing is with meditation, like I get very teary-eyed after I finish because I feel like a release. I'm not boo-hooing, right, but I always thought it was like something like, okay, that's weird. But then when I was in New York, I used to always go meditating in these rooms or whatnot in Lower East Side. And then when I finished, I'm like boohoo crying. I went to a breathing meditation in Tampa. That was my first time like crying, and I didn't know what the hell was wrong with me. I was like, oh, I didn't really like crying. I wasn't emotional. I was just, but then I felt so good the rest of the day.
Yeah,
so
that's awesome.
Is what I feel like that's the equivalent to people when they go to church and they're like praying and they're crying and they feel like a weight has like shifted. So that's how I felt.
I've experienced the same thing. I think it's just, very rarely in life these days do we take time to only be with ourselves, only be with our thoughts, and meditation provides that opportunity, and it's very special.
Yes, it's totally changed my life, dog. And it's like, and I encourage you guys too, man. If you guys, with you guys' relationships with partners, man, make sure, like, not saying make sure, but like, if you have a partner or your wife or whatnot, or whoever you're like involved with, and both of y'all meditate, man, you're talking about the mental clarity both of you guys have and the cohesion that you have.
Great tip. Definitely keep that in mind.
Yeah, I'm still on the open market, so.
Is it single, ladies and gents?
I've been single for 5 years. Yeah, it's okay though. It's going. We're having fun.
What do you?
What did you say?
We're all 23.
Yeah.
Y'all all 23?
Yeah.
I'm 22, soon to be 23.
Hey, bro. Hey, man. Continue to learn who you are and what you like and what you don't like. I say that to be 23. Continue to learn and grow, man. Then it'll come when it comes, bro.
No doubt. Yeah, and you said something earlier that I totally agree with. No matter what religion you are, no matter what you believe in, if you just gotta take it out of your hands, But whether you let God handle it or whatever, right. Let something else handle it because it's out of your hands, and just let it be.
And the thing about it is it's hard, man. That's not an easy thing to do if you're not used to, like, you have to figure out everything for your life. But then I feel like you start to learn how much God got your back when you can't do anything. You gotta just sit your ass down and let it happen.
Right.
And be open. The biggest thing is for me was just being open to it, because I was like so stuck in, I want to be here. I want to be on this team. Or I want to play football. I want to do this and that. But when I like started meditating, letting go, man, and just like whatever happens, like everything around me started to shift. The people, my opportunities, my thought process. It wasn't hard, man. It sucked ass, but it helped me a whole lot.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think Stevie, to that point, and Antoine, tell me if you agree. I think one of the best benefits of meditation is it helps you realize and recognize which aspects of your life you do have control over and which you are free to let go.
Right.
And then, you can action on the ones that you do have control over, obviously.
Right. And it's a constant battle too, man. I definitely agree with that. I mean, it's like you could be cool about it one day, but then some other scenario might come up and you're back to trying to fight and resist. But like once you like mature enough to calm down and like realize that, why was I tripping in the first place?
Right.
For sure.
So Antoine, is there anything like, so culture-wise, like fashion and whatnot, when you got into the league, did you see your like sense of style have to drastically change because of the people you were around, or was there anyone that you were around that helped you transition into a deeper fashion and like game day fits and whatnot?
No, I've always been my parents. My mom was a very good dresser, but I was always a sneakerhead growing up. I could never have all the shoes I wanted, but I got the ones I wanted. But like my mom even told me my rookie year, she was like, "You did say when you get to where you're gonna go, you're gonna buy all the shoes you wanted." So like I filled my room up, and my mom had all my shoes that I couldn't wear because I got so many where I'm living at. So like sneakerhead, like Jordans too, like. It's not just Jordan. It's like it's Adidas, it's Nikes, it's Pro Rex, it's Nike ACGs. All this, man. I'm a sneakerhead, bro. Air Force Ones is my favorite shoe because I can customize my Air Force Ones. They go with anything.
Yes, sir.
They look good on. I have big feet, so they look good on my feet. They look good with a khakis and a button down. They look good with a khakis and a blazer and a tie. They look good with a cardigan. But then like I had like man, I got so many pairs of shoes, bro. Like I got all brands.
What are your grails, Antoine?
My what?
Your grails.
My grills.
Yeah, like your all-time favorite shoe.
Oh man, the Air Force. It would have to be the Air Force One, but my all-time favorite shoe would be the Jordan 11s with the blue gum bottoms. I don't know what their name.
Hold on.
The Gamma Blue. The Gamma Blues, right?
These puppies?
Yeah, but the all white ones.
Oh, so you're like the Concords.
No, but with the blue.
They're all white with the bottom armor blue.
Oh yeah, okay. I know what you're talking about.
Those,
So I was a sneakerhead myself in high school.
Those like all Air Jordan 4s. But my all-time favorite sneaker would have to be the Air Force One, man. I'm sorry.
Did you have like a shoe that when it like dropped, like you're like, I have to have this shoe, like there's no way about it? Like the one most memorable drop you were a part of?
When the Black Cats came out in like 2004, I was lucky enough to get them because they had my size, I had the money, and it was a big event coming up, and I was like the only one that had them, and I was like, hell yeah!
You were the freaking man. You had to show them up.
I had the money to get them. I had the haircut. I had the outfit. Man, I was like, boy, I looked up this weekend.
Do you still got them?
No, I ain't no dogging them shoes out. But I want to get a new pair of them. But I mean, shoes are shoes, bro. I love shoes, but like I'm not gonna be like, butt hurt because I like messed them up or whatnot. I am because I have so many pairs of shoes. Like, dang, I messed my shoes up. But I have so many of my favorite shoes. But at that time, I wasn't really, because I was making money. I could buy some more because I was working.
What are your favorite shoes in your collection?
My favorite shoes are I got so many pairs of shoes. My all red Jordan 11s would be. I don't have just one pair. I'll say my all red Jordan 11s. I just got the gray and neon Jordan 4s. I love that shoe. And I have and I want a pair. I would say when I get these probably my favorite pair of shoes. My all red and white Vans.
Yeah,
bro. I've been needing a pair of Vans, bro. I've been needing a pair of Vans because it's like Air Force Ones.
You got to get the checkered Vans.
They wear for anything.
You got to get the checkered Vans, Stevie.
No checkered Vans. No checkered Vans.
But
No.
I have two of my all-time favorite shoe is I have a custom painted pair of Air Force Ones, but they are the Outkast ATL's album is that is that actually they got Outkast painted real big on the.
That's a sick album cover.
Yes, the comic book. And then my second favorite pair would be my mid-top Air Force Ones, but it's Wu-Tang. They painted Wu-Tang with killer bees.
I know the Wu-Tang Dunks. Is that? But these are different. You're saying these are Air Force Ones?
No, these ones were actually painted by someone like a celebrity shoe designer.
Gotcha.
Cool. So is there like a piece of clothing or a watch or a piece of jewelry that, when you started making consistent money that you had to have? Like what was the most exciting purchase that you made?
The most exciting purchase that I made was getting my car, man, because I was the kid. I was the all-star recruit at my high school with no damn car, and I'm getting a ride home from a 10th grader. I'm all over ESPN. I'm on TV. I'm in the newspaper every other day with no car, bro. So I was like, that me was like my most like purchase that I like was so was overly happy about. But like I already knew that I'm gonna have because I had like shoes in college too because I did a good job of managing my money. Cause in college, man, it's like you don't have to really buy anything because you're on schedule all day and they feeding you all day. So it's like the money that I did have that I earned or whatnot, I just bought what I wanted. So, I have a pair of those the flu games. That's one of my favorite pair of shoes.
I love those. Love those, bro.
So some stuff like that, yeah. But when I got to the league, that was kind of it. Getting my car.
What car was it?
It was a 2013 Chevy Impala, but I put some nice tires on it. I got like a TV screen. So I kept it real, because
you got to ball out. You got to ball out.
Yeah, but it was a really nice car. Like people wanted to buy it, but I think I ended up buying the actual two after my second year. I ended up buying my favorite car, and I just paid straight cash for it. It was it's a 1996 Chevy Impala. So, and I blacked it out, the black rims, got the interior done. I put a new motor in it. I kind of rebuilt it. So that was
your baby.
Yeah, that was my favorite car, and then that'd probably be my most luxurious purchase, I think.
Cool.
My dad is also a huge Impala guy.
Yeah, but
It's a good car.
Yeah, that car. That's a nice collector's item, man. I was so happy when I bought that car, and it was so fast, man. I love that car, and it had a lot. It was loud. It had pipes under it and everything, but it wasn't too loud to where it woke people up.
You still have it?
No. I sold it. I didn't even need two cars anymore. I don't even have my first car anymore. I ended up trading that car in for what I have. I have a Chrysler 300. And I'm done paying that too. So I don't know, man. I didn't need two cars at the moment, so I kind of just sold it. And the kid was doing that wanted it. His dad wanted to buy it because his kid was doing good in school. He was doing very well with grades, and he was going to school for football. And he begged me to buy that car, and I sold it to him because his kid was doing really good. Wow. I wasn't going to sell it to anybody. I wanted somebody who would take care of it.
Yeah.
That was probably a tough sell for you.
No, it wasn't, because at the time I was thinking, like, all right, I was about to move to Canada to play for Calgary, and I was thinking, like, my mom just going to keep messing this car up because she don't know how to drive. My mom scratching my rims. I'm like, yo, like, all right, so
this is over.
It's an older car, even though I had put new stuff on it. When you let it sit for a while, it kind of like, it starts to like, be herky jerk. So I got tired of getting it fixed or getting it redone and all that. So I just sold it. I was gonna sell it to somebody who like really gonna take
it. Was there any culture shock there between Calgary and being in the U.S.?
Yeah, I was like the only black guy. Well, they kind of knew how to play football because they was like, okay, you're a big black guy, so we know you play football for that team over there. Oh, so other than that, man, it wasn't really a culture shock. I'll be ready for it. I don't mind traveling and being the new guy. So,
right.
It was cold as hell in July, but it was a beautiful place, man.
You're playing football, right?
Yeah.
Did you when you retired from football, how hard was it for you to put a suit on every day and go to work? Was it not fun at first?
It wasn't hard because I knew what I had to take care of what I take care of. So it was like, it sucked, but it wasn't hard because I had to do what I had to do.
Yeah, you got to make that bread.
Yeah, I got to, keep paying the rent, and I got to keep, building my career.
So
it sucked, and it, I ain't gonna lie, man. I cried sometimes going home because I felt like, what did I do? But it sucked. This sucked so bad, but I was never the one that's gonna be like sitting and waiting around for another opportunity when I can just continue to work until something happens. But
yeah, so you did a couple jobs before you got into the assistant coach with Dabo, right?
So when I got cut from the Cardinals, I didn't get signed back at all that season. But I had a bunch of work out of Green Bay, the Giants, Cincinnati. None of the people will pull the trigger. All right, well, we'll keep you on. And then I got a call back when Mike Iupati went down, but they ended up signing another guy. So I ended up going to finish my degree that January, and then I was assistant with too.
I mean, the Giants aren't too smart then, because we needed all the offensive line help we could have used the last.
Seriously.
Yeah.
You can play right now. You can play right now for him. Seriously, I'll take you right now.
I'm done, bro. I'm done with football. So done with football.
I don't blame you.
I coached for a little bit too. I coached semi-pro. That was fun. Different, but it was fun.
If do you have any kids?
I have no kids. I have 2 nieces, a nephew, and I have 3 god kids. That's enough for me right now.
Yeah, I don't blame you, man.
I was married when I had kids, man. I always wanted my wife to have my kid or my fiance. I kind of wanted to, I never wanted to just
Yeah.
Have it.
Oh yeah, that's smart. It's smart.
Yeah.
You can't tie up stuff that's not there to be tied. You know.
Yeah, I wanted my kids to have a 2-parent home. I know at a younger age I wasn't. I mean, I would never have to do, but I kind of knew that people that I was with, that wasn't the thing I was. Because I was focused on football too. I'm saying I was scared to juggle that, but I didn't know how to. I was like, it's playing it safe, so it was.
Yeah,
awesome. But I did want my wife, the person I was going to marry and be married to have my kids.
Yeah.
Would you let if you had a boy? Would you let him play football?
That'll be his choice. I mean, I would, put the ball in his crib and take him to all the games. And I mean, I'm still in sports too. But no, my kid could play basketball. Look at how many kids dad who played basketball that their son played in the NFL. Look at how many guys that played baseball and their son playing football. So it's like, no,
right.
For my kid. I mean, I'm gonna help influence to do something other than come home after school.
Yeah, of course.
Whether that's chess club, the band, whether that's swimming, anything, man. So.
Yeah, the only reason why I asked was because I feel sometimes you hear former players come out and say they wouldn't let their kids endure the pain that they went through or whatnot. But I'm surprised by it because you think that someone who played at the highest level would kind of want their kid to follow up. But I also see where they don't want their kid to destroy his brain because they know what it's like to take a hit and whatnot.
But that's why I think it's important to teach your son the game. I'm not talking about X's. I'm talking about teaching them how to take care of themselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Courses and learn about how to be smart right now. So when you're done playing, that's the biggest thing what guys get mad about. But you know what you're signing yourself up to. You sign yourself up for, so you already know. So let's teach them to be more responsible off the field, and then teach them the right techniques to be safe and still play at a high level.
Absolutely.
No, I wouldn't tell my son no. I just teach him the way.
Yeah, because there's so many people that are just so poorly coached, and you just see these injuries for no reason.
Yeah, I think about even growing up. I mean, I grew up in I would say not pretty tough environment, but people volunteering, so they just want to help guys out. So it's like they don't have some of them didn't have the background to coach. They just wanted to help out. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Then you have guys who was taught by bad coaches and still teaching that bad technique throughout their career. So it's like it's the right way of doing it.
Yeah, right. Always the right and the wrong way.
If you could go back and tell your 18-year-old self one thing, what would it be?
Man, it would be take advantage of opportunities. Don't be scared. Don't be afraid to be flexible with different opportunities and positions. And I would say too, man, don't worry, dog. Just ball.
Yeah. Keep it simple.
You're all right. If you ball and you just stay focused, well, I've always been a focused kid, but it's just don't beat yourself up and just ball, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's universal advice in any aspect of life.
Right.
100%. So we're nearing an hour. Antoine, where do you see your career going from here?
Okay, so I'm in student athlete development. I'll just say this. I know my goal is to be a director of director of player development for a college team, or director of player engagement for an NFL team. But my ultimate goal is to one day, be an executive director, and maybe a GM one day. But this is my overall goal. I see myself in 10 years, man. I'll be 40 years old. I see myself with a lot of stability as far as the things that I want to do off the field, like owning a barbershop, owning multiple properties, and helping people with their living arrangements, and then having either coaching a little league team or just having not saying comfortable life, but just a life that I will design for myself. that I can give back and still be lucrative, and show my kids and me and my wife be partners and stuff like that. So that's where I see myself in 10 years.
It's beautiful.
That's awesome, man.
Not a bad place to be.
Right, because I know football. I didn't reach my highest plateau, so now it's just finding that what's the next thing as far as what's that next. And I think it's for me is sharing my story and helping guys succeed.
No doubt. I mean, you have the platform. You have the platform. You have the experience, so might as well take advantage of it, right?
Right, and have some fun and travel while I'm doing it, man.
Yeah, that's so important.
Yes,
you just can't forget about us when you get into an NFL front office.
Oh man, I like y'all guys. Y'all guys know music, so we gonna definitely be in contact. Cause I like, okay, they know about what I'm talking about. Like,
hell yeah,
let's go.
Hell yeah.
I got a pretty keen eye for first round talent, so.
Oh yeah.
And that's about it.
It's universal, bro.
Antoine, is there anything else that you want our fans to know about you?
Well, I mean, I feel like I've been talking enough. I know I love to read. So if anybody out there got good books that I can share with myself as far as self-development, anything that you think will help with just anything, sci-fi, fiction. I'm a huge bookie, man. I love books. And then any artist, my Instagram is at MacLife256. That's MACLIFE 256. Send me books, send me content, send me PDFs, send me all of the knowledge, man.
You got a Twitter?
I'm on Twitter at wait, let me make sure.
I'm gonna
double check.
I'm gonna shoot him a follow right now.
Hold on, let me see. Wait. It is. I haven't been on Twitter like that. So, and my Twitter is Mr. Mac 256. That's MRMAC 256. Hint, I know everybody's like, why you always have Mac in your name? Because my last name is McClain. All my coaches either call me Mac or Big Mac because, football and sports go by your last name. So, coaches be lazy and abbreviate.
Awesome. So you can definitely follow Antoine on Twitter and Instagram. You can check the crossover out at Facebook.com/The Crossover, Twitter at It's The Crossover, Instagram at The Crossover, and most importantly, our newly launched website as of today, www.itsthecrossover.com. That's ITSTHECROSSOVR.com. Our next show, we have an awesome show lined up with Amir Bell and Carl Taylor. Amir is a former D1 basketball player for Princeton University and went on to start his professional career in Italy and now plays point guard in Israel. And Carl was his high school basketball teammate, went on to play college ball for Utica, and after graduating decided to pursue another one of his passions in hip-hop. They'll be on together, so we have a great show in store for you. Definitely tune in. Antoine, thank you so much for joining us. Do you have any parting words?
Hey, man. Never second guess yourself. As long as you prepared, and as long as you study, and as long as you know what's going on, never second guess yourself and never stop learning.
Appreciate it, brother. Thank you so much.
Antoine, thank you. It was literally a pleasure to talk to you. It really was. Thank you.
This was awesome.
Thank you guys for having me, man.
Keep in touch, man. Seriously.
Yeah, we would love to have you back on.
Oh, yeah. Anytime you got any segments, anything y'all come up with, I'm down.
Cool.
Let's go.
We appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys.
Hey,
all right.
Thank you,
man. Thank you.